In Pit Lane is proudly brought to you by the Australian Sports Sedan Association of Victoria. Round 5 of the Grunt Performance Victorian Sports Sedan Championship. And with thanks to Slipstream Race Graphics. Hello everybody, I'm Brett Ramsey. Joining me tonight is Jack Brennan. It is our final show for this season of In Pit Lane, and we are in the compact Studio C tonight. So we're very intimate. I think that's what the word that they use. It is an intimate performance. Speaking of intimate, jazz is always intimate. Coming up a little bit later on the program, we had a couple of weeks ago on the show Pete Mitchell and Brian Callahassan, and they were just fantastic. They did a bonus track for people watching on YouTube. We're going to show that at the end of the night as well. But Jack and I are just going to take a wide shot and let's introduce Jack. There is Jack in there with the lights. Lights are off, but they're up now. We're just going to chat about the year. Well, not the year so far, because everybody does review shows. We're not going to do a review show. We're going to do a preview show. We're going to say about what we hope is happening next year. But right now, we will go back in time to last weekend because lots happened locally and internationally. This is the In Pit Lane Motorsport News. There was a real end-of-year celebration mode at Phillip Island for this year's Island Magic, with the final round of the Grunt Performance Victorian Sports Sedan Championship sharing the track with the last round of the National Sports Sedan title. With his main rival Thomas Randall racing on the streets of Newcastle in Super 2, Steve Tomasi only had to finish in the top 14 in race 1 to wrap up the title. Not content with that, Tomasi won all 3 races, including the big one, the annual Ramada Resort 50k plate. Tomasi was in a class of his own all weekend, and after many years of trying, the young Victorian was delighted to take out his first national title.
All the hard work that we put in this year actually paid off. So every year we put in the same amount of effort basically, but as we all know, sports sedans are very temperamental and they're highly strung, and it doesn't always work out. But this year we've been very consistent, put it all together, and very rewarding after putting so much effort in after hours. I think we took the lead in the championship in round 2, and in round 3 when we were still leading, we thought, oh, this is a possibility, and that's really the only time we've really realised that there's a possibility. But always given pressure, always on the track, yeah. Happy.
Victorian State Champion Rick Newman had a major battle all weekend with the Commodore of Stephen Page in the battle of the regular State Series runners. Page came out on top for the weekend, but it was the Falcon that took the honours in the main race. It's been a dream debut year for Newman, but now he's looking for new challenges in 2019.
We've got challenge combined sedans at Bathurst again for the 12-hour support. Absolutely love that track. So I don't think there's a person in the country that drives a car that wouldn't say they don't like it. And then well, I've got the IP cars actually going back to Ravage to get a full rebuild now next year, with the aim of bringing that out in 2020 because our youngest son's going to have a crack at doing that one. So yeah, next year I'm thinking of picking the bones out of it a little bit, not so much state. I'm keen on getting to Tail and Bend with the national guys. Obviously you're not going to be a front runner, but it's not about winning all the time, it's more about the track and having some fun, which I'm finding this weekend. It's been absolutely fantastic dealing with some guys that are a lot quicker and trying to chase them down. And but yeah, we'd love to have a go at Queensland Raceway as well, as another one that we haven't been to. So yeah, a couple of different circuits, a couple of different categories, yeah.
Island Magic also saw a series of exhibition runs by the new TCR Audi by New Zealand driver Daniel Gaunt. The Audi was joined by a VW Golf on display, and the cars attracted a lot of interest. Despite being only an exhibition run, Gaunt was most impressed with the new car. Gaunt had a good weekend overall, taking a comfortable win alongside Gary Higgin in a split Victorian Tourist Trophy for sports cars. After the first attempt to run the race was called off due to fence damage, the cars came back for a 30-minute special, with Gaunt taking an all-the-way win from the team of Ryan Howe and Tony D'Alberto. And it was a Camaro festival at the front of the historic touring cars. Dean Neville's Camaro looked set for a comfortable win, but mechanical issues on lap 7 of 10 handed the win to the recent Sandown winner Aldo Di Paoli over Darren Copland's similar car and the Charger of Les Walmsley. It was a weekend for the good guys on the streets of Newcastle as Scott McLaughlin won his first Australian Supercars championship. A second place to David Reynolds in the finals was enough to give the popular Kiwi driver his first championship over fellow countryman Shane van Gisbergen. Knowing late in the race that the title was surely his, McLaughlin described his emotion over the final few laps.
It was tough, you know, I was just trying to cruise around and there was some battles going in front of me with the lap cars and I was just like, please don't crash or anything like that. I don't want to be caught up and I just try to bring it home. But the last two laps, you know, got really emotional and sort of was thinking about what Mum and Dad were doing, what Carly was doing, my fiance, and just like thinking like what are we going to do at the end? And I was like, come on, you just got to keep working hard and put your head together. And it was so surreal.
The championship win by McLaughlin also means that the Australian-built Falcon leaves the supercar landscape as a winner. But the biggest winner of the weekend was clearly the City of Newcastle. The TV pictures of the spectacular street circuit is clearly the best damn advertisement that the city has ever had. Another winner is Lewis Hamilton. The world champion-elect celebrated a successful year with an emphatic victory in Abu Dhabi. Hamilton started on pole but pitted early in a bold strategy after Kimi Raikkonen's Ferrari had stopped on the start-finish line, sparking a virtual safety car period. Daniel Ricciardo, in his final race for Red Bull, stayed out longer than just about anybody else and was rewarded by taking the lead. However, after his late stop, even his fresh tyres weren't enough and the Aussie finished fourth behind teammate Max Verstappen. Sebastian Vettel chased down Hamilton late in the race, but he was clearly never any real threat to the Mercedes driver. And cars and teams from all over the world are heading to Winton in northeast Victoria for the state's other big international motorsport event, the 2018 Formula SAE Australasia competition. And this is RMIT Racing's new challenger. The R18C features an increased emphasis on aerodynamics, with the most obvious feature the triple-element rear wing assembly. The car is powered once again by the venerable 690cc single-cylinder KTM Duke engine, and the whole car weighs in at an astonishingly light 170 kilograms. The new car and its all-electric counterpart will take on teams from right across the globe at the competition, which you can watch live and exclusive on the channel December 8th and 9th, proudly brought to you by the RMIT University Student Union and RMITV Student Television. Yes, and I hope that you'll join us for that broadcast of Formula SAE coming up in a couple of weeks' time, one of the highlights of the motorsport year. If you're into any sort of race car engineering, that's the thing you want to be watching, December 8th and 9th. We're going to take a break now on Channel 31, and when we come back, Jack Brennan will be joining us, and we're going to sort of wrap up the year by predicting what's going to happen next year, a bit of crystal ball gazing. You're watching In Pit Lane. We'll be right back after this break. Okay, so for all of you watching on Facebook and all of you who tuned in earlier and heard comments about all sorts of wonderful things about female anatomy and yes, if the children are watching, the boys and girls, if you're out there, please don't be frightened of the female anatomy because of anything. There are no teeth involved. We can trust me, there are none. At least so I've been told. Been a long time between drinks, boys and girls. Now, coming up, we've really got to say, last week down at Phillip Island, we had the 50k. Now, here's a segue. Coming up, the people from the Australian Sports Sedan Association who have made this program for this season possible. We thank them so much. During the year, they contacted us at the start of the year and said, "Are you coming back?" And we said, "Look, we'd love to come back, but we do not have a sponsor." And they said, "Hey, we'd like to help you guys out." And we are back for we've been back for 2 full seasons on the basis of their assistance, and we really do appreciate it. As we've said before, like it does cost money to produce the program. Believe it or not, none of us get paid, but there are lots and lots of costs involved. And without the support of the Australian Sports Sedan Association Victoria, we would not be here on any of our programs. Now, as we said on the weekend, Phillip Island, great to see such a huge field of sports sedans down there. A lot of the national cars, and it just showed that when we get a really, really big field of sports sedans, just how spectacular they can be. That was just watching it as they came around through Siberia on that last race for the 50k plate itself was spectacular. It was just wonderful. So thank you once again to Jason and to Warren, who was there at the start of the year, to everybody who backed us over the past 2 seasons. We really do say thank you very much. We really appreciate it from all of us here at In Pit Lane and all of us at RMITV and Channel 31 as well. And we hope that we'll have you back for season 2019. By the way, 2019, if you're involved in anything to do with motor racing, if you've got a business, if you've got products and you would like to promote them through the program, through Channel 31, through our online services by Facebook and YouTube, we would really love to hear from you, because basically, as much as we would say we would love to come back, without sponsorship, that's simply not going to happen. So if you could get in touch with us, I think it's out there. Yes, reach out, advertise at inpitlane.com is the email for you to contact, and talk to us about how we might be able to help your business out in 2019. But right now, I think we're ready to. Is there any further comments, Jack, that you would like to add? Any apologies? Anything just in case your mum's watching? Or
I have an apology. If we didn't actually talk about the female anatomy, it wasn't me and Brett. It was the other people.
It was the crew. It was the crew.
Wasn't us. It was the crew.
Yes, being very juvenile, Linda.
Those comments
terribly
do not
juvenile.
represent us.
The thoughts of this program. Okay, well, Pete, I think you're saying that we're coming back. Yeah. Okay.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3.
Welcome back to In Pit Lane here on Channel 31. It's our final program for season 2018, and thank you to everybody at Channel 31 for joining us over the past year. It's great to be on. It was fabulous that we now have a bit of certainty. We know that Channel 31 is not just back for this year, it's back for next year, and it's into the future as well. And hopefully, fingers crossed, it'll be a long and productive future. Because let's face it, Channel 31, we found out just recently, no matter how big the online thing is happening around Australia and around the world, that there is probably the vast majority of our viewers are still wanting to watch the program on Channel 31, and we hope that will continue for several years to come. Now, as we said, it's been a big year in motorsport, but it's all wrapped up as far as V8 supercars and Formula One. Joining me, Jack Brennan is here with his who's done something terrible to his hand. Well, the reason we're in the small studio is that there is in fact wrestling. Believe it or not, there is wrestling happening in our regular studio, and Jack was very upset, and he told them to get out, and that's the result. Yeah. That's the result. You don't argue with wrestlers. So Jack, tell us about that. That is a kayfabe injury, that one, for the wrestling fans out there. Now tell us, the weekend Formula One, Lewis Hamilton has wrapped up the season for 2018. Is anybody going to beat him next year?
I don't think so. I think it'll be really hard to beat Mercedes. They're on a roll. How can he stop them? Ferrari have tried and failed for 2 years in a row now.
Yeah, and it was going so well for Ferrari, but it seemed that when Sergio Marchionne died and all of that, they just lost focus completely. I suppose it's going to, now they've got some time to sort of regather and regroup over the Christmas period. Hopefully they will get back on track again. And also now, no offence to Kimi Räikkönen, but now there's someone who's really genuinely going to push Sebastian Vettel in Charles Leclerc, and that's going to be really exciting to see. I think he's a real talent, that guy.
Yeah, he definitely is. But I think at Ferrari, with Marchione passing away, I think that's changed the senior management, and not a lot of companies can survive that without losing performance, which they did. But hopefully they can come back next year and bring the fight to Mercedes. I just don't think it can happen. But Leclerc can probably push Vettel in the same way Coulthard has pushed McLaughlin in supercars, sort of thing.
One of the things that we'll be looking forward to for the first round, which of course is here at Albert Park, is we'll see Daniel Ricciardo not behind the wheel of a Red Bull, but behind the wheel of a Renault. Is that a good move?
I think, yeah, in the greater scheme of things, probably, because he was never going to get preference over Max Verstappen, and we've seen that over the past couple seasons. I think that the Renault move is good because he can be the number one driver. He can be the leader in the team. He can lead the team. The team can develop around him in the same way Ferrari have developed around Vettel, and the same with Ferrari and Schumacher. So I think that can happen there. It's just whether they can win straight away. They won't. It'll be sort of 2021 when the rules change.
And I think that's something that Daniel's acknowledged already, is that he's decided that, you know, like next year is probably going to be a bit of a wipeout in terms of wins. The thing about it is, what people often forget is Red Bull is a soft drink manufacturing company. So long term, they're only in it for as long as they sort of can, you know, it helps them sell soft drinks. When it doesn't help them sell soft drink, they're out the door with. Renault is a manufacturer. Now they've got their own problems with with what's happening at the head of their company at the moment, but they are a major manufacturer, and you would imagine that they'll be around for quite a few years to come.
Yeah, and it's the works team as well, in the same way that Ron Dennis said you can never win with a custom engine. Yes, Red Bull have gone to Honda, but I'm still yet to see something promising from Honda. Yes, they're not exploding every week like they were at McLaren, but we're still yet to see a big improvement. They're saying that they're going to be where Renault's at next year. I doubt that, because they've caught up a lot in 6 months. So we'll see how they go.
What about everything's changing? I mean, if you have a look right throughout, I think sort of probably Mercedes is about the most stable driving lineup that they've got. McLaren is interesting because they've got a couple of young guys in there, George Russell, Lando Norris. They're also very, very good talents. There's a whole lot of talent coming out of Formula 2 and GP3 that really are very exciting for the next year, and it'll be fascinating to watch. The Friday at Albert Park, I would be definitely getting along. I don't go every year because it costs a lot of money, and all, but I will be certainly getting along there this year for Friday. It could be insane.
Yeah, and I hope McLaren do the right thing by the two rookies. I hope they give them a full season or two full seasons, and not just do one season like Van Dorn or one season like Magnussen and then flick them because they weren't performing. Formula One's difficult. You can't just come in and be on the pace straight away. That's why Ferrari sort of have a junior team with Sauber, and yeah, it's the way of building the driver up. You can't just chuck them straight in and they'll be good. I think McLaren sort of need an eye on the future. Same with Perez and McLaren.
I said that in the news about the supercars on the weekend, that the real star. I mean, great for Scotty McLaughlin. As I said, one of the nice guys. Most of the guys are there, but between Scotty McLaughlin, Dave Reynolds, some of the nicest people in the paddock, and it was fabulous to see him get up and win. But I just saw a little bit of it when I got back from Phillip Island, but I just looked at it and thought, Newcastle looks $1 million.
Yeah, it does. It looked really good. I thought about going up this year after seeing last year's, but now I'm definitely going to go next year because that just looked absolutely amazing. The beach and everything that close to the racetrack, it was awesome. It was like a much more aesthetically pleasing version of the Gold Coast.
That's what I was thinking. It looks very sort of cosmopolitan and European. The Gold Coast, dare I say, it looks just a touch
concretey. Yeah.
But with some of the lovely old buildings that are around there, so it's going through the park, as you say, looking down over, it looked really good. The crowd itself was down this year, but the television ratings were up on last year, and they're looking really good.
I'm surprised that the crowd numbers are down with it being Craig Lowndes' last race.
Yeah, I was surprised.
Yeah, that's sort of why my idea of why I wanted to go up, but I didn't get around to it. But yeah, that surprised me with that.
Of course, it's funny because they're saying about it being Craig's last race, and it was the same with Fernando Alonso as well. You would think that they were, not just retiring. You think that they were dying or something. The way they carried on, that we'll never see them again. But Craig, we will definitely see again. He's already entered for the 12-hour. He will be co-driving probably with Jamie Whincup later in the year, and I think he will pop up in a lot of other things as well. I know that he's always been very keen to do a lot of those big international GT races, and he can now. And I think that's fantastic because. Yeah, he's one of those drivers that I think can really, take his talent around the world, and he's just such a nice guy. He'll be very popular internationally.
Yeah, I think Red Bull are going to miss that merchandise money that they get from selling Craig Lowndes stuff, but I think John Crennan said during the week that he wouldn't be surprised to see Lowndes back in a supercar full time.
Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing. I think that we will find eventually Craig will
I'd
be
like to
back
see him
full-time.
go to DGR Team Penske or somewhere like that, because I think that'll be awesome.
Yeah, well, Ford was sort of his first love. We remember his Cortina. Look, I'm getting the wind up now. Stay with us because we'll come back to wrap up the year in just a moment. But for those of you watching on Melbourne's Channel 31, we're going to take a break. We'll be right back in a moment. And as we said, we'll wrap up the year and we'll also have some live music for you. That's when In Pit Lane returns right after this break. Okay, now we must say thank you. We're talking about sponsors before, not a sponsor in the financial sense, but somebody who helped us out when we were in a real bind was Slipstream Race Graphics. And as you can see, we've got three of their backdrops behind us. We had our old setup had been around for a long time, and it had been very badly damaged. Scott and the team said, yeah, we can help you out. Send us the artwork, and we'll fix you up. And that's basically what they've done. They've said that, and I think it looks very professional, and they fitted it up. It looks terrific. So if you're getting ready for 2019, if you've got a race car or a trailer for your panels around the pits and all the rest of it, if you want to look really professional, give the guys at Slipstream Race Graphics a call, because they've been fantastic. Scott is very heavily involved in the supercarts, and we had the supercart in a while ago. He'd wrap that and also sponsors and runs that team as well. So thanks to Scott and everybody from Slipstream Race Graphics. And as we said, if you would like to be involved in somehow within Pit Lane, do get in contact with us. We've been around for a long time, but we would really love to come back. We know 31 have sort of said they would love to have us back, so we would certainly like to be back for 2019 if at all possible. But we do need some sponsorship to make this all happen. Now, Pete, are we ready? Is Bill ready? Bill's on lighting over there. We got a very strange. Bill's like almost over there on lighting. Phil's in the corner there. Say hello, Phil.
Hello, Phil.
Phil, that's Bill's hand, and that was Phil's voice. Here's Phil. Here's Phil. There we are. That's Phil. That hand,
9,
you will see.
8,
7.
And Richard.
5, 4, 3.
Welcome back to In Pit Lane as we wrap up the program for 2018. Now, as we said a little bit earlier on in the program in the news, coming up in a couple of weeks' time up at Winton Motor Raceway will be Formula SAE Australasia. We've been lucky enough to cover that for a long time now, but in the last 4 years we've actually been able to cover it and live stream it from Calder Park. And as we said, they're moving up to Winton. It's going to be a great venue for the competition. Not so much a great venue for us, because it is very difficult to very difficult to get a stream out of there, and for the logistics of going up there is absolutely huge. But we're going to do our best with the resources that we've got to bring you all the action from Formula SAE. I think there's around 30 teams this year, including teams from Germany, from Saudi Arabia, from all over the world. So do if you're up around the Winton Way over the weekend of the 7th, 8th and 9th, get out to Winton Motor Raceway and see some of those cars. You saw the new RMIT car a little bit earlier on, the R18C. That's the combustion car, and with the wings and everything. It's yes, they put in a lot of time on the aero this year. Jack, you did Formula SAE with us last year. What were your impressions?
Yeah, it was really good to see a bunch of young engineers designing and building cars, and you see a lot of different design philosophies in the cars when you go up and look at them, and when you get close to them, they are real works of art.
Yeah, and I think that's they're going in there with basically an open book, because the rules are very flexible in terms of what they can do. There's some obviously safety rules, but apart from that, it's there's very few rules that get in their road, and you can see that from the rear wing, the triple element rear wing on the back, which you wouldn't be allowed for any outside of hill climbing. You wouldn't be allowed anywhere else.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see some of the other designs and how the other teams can beat Monash, who were very dominant last year.
And they have a new car as well, which they've just released. So
hopefully RMIT can come back and get some against Monash.
Yeah, they didn't have the combustion team didn't have the best of years last year, so we wish RMIT Racing all the best. For
Not a lot of teams did last year have the best of luck.
No, and Monash are very good at that. I mean, you've got to give credit where credit is due. Monash have competed and been very successful, not just here, but also all around the world as well.
And it's not just the competition of like driving the car and whatever, the dynamics of the car. It's a competition of design as well. There is a design element which makes it really interesting to go and watch, and I believe we'll be live streaming that as well, the design.
Yeah, probably not. At this stage, we're just going to be happy if we get, see some cars going around at this stage. We'll be lucky if the cars, if we can get up to Winton and survive. But it's going to be a great weekend up there at Winton Motor Raceway. Listen, that's we only have a few minutes left on the rest of the program, and I just want to take the time to say thank you very much to everybody who's made the program possible this year. The Australian Sports Sedan Association of Victoria, who got behind us and sponsored us and made it possible for us to return here to Channel 31 this year. We went there. We probably shouldn't bring up the lower third because I don't think Channel 31 like that, so we won't bring it. Channel 31, if you're watching, you didn't see that. You didn't. No, you didn't see that. Yeah, cover it. Yep. You know what? But thank you anyway to the Australian Sports Sedan Association of Victoria. We really do appreciate that. I've got to say a huge thank you once again to the people who really make this happen, and that's all of our crew here on the program. We're so fortunate over the past 22 years that every year you think we're not going to get it. It's not going to happen again this year, and new people come in and they get involved and they become a part of the family, and we really do say thank you very much from the bottom of my heart as the producer and the head on the stick here. I've got to say thank you very much to everybody who's come on board from RMI TV Student Television this year. Also, we must say thank you to everybody involved in this amazing studio complex that we have out here at the moment at RMIT. The Media Hub opened earlier this year or late last year. We're in one of the smaller studios, but it's still, as you can see, it's a pretty big studio. It's all state of the art. So thank you to RMIT University, and thank you to the staff of the television studio, particularly the technicians, James Gormley, Matt Dunham, to Jess, to Paris, to everybody involved, to Luke, who's in charge of the whole thing here. Thank you for your support and keeping us on the air. We really do appreciate it, and thank you to the team at Channel 31 who have performed above and beyond the call of duty and being able to turn over the program so very quickly. As I said, we do want to come back next year. We would really love to see you again. We've had this show has given us given me so much over the years. Thank you for your support. It's been fabulous to sort of go around at Phillip Island, just in the street, all over the place, and have people say how much they enjoy the show. And we really do appreciate it. And I would like to say thank you to everybody. We're going to take you out in just a moment. One of the things, thank you to all of our musicians as well. We have live music on the program because, damn it, we can and we enjoy it. And I have to say thank you to Leanne Campbell, our music producer, who has found some amazing talent throughout the last couple of years, including on this season as well. A couple of weeks ago, we had a couple of jazz musicians in on the program, and that's Pete Mitchell and Brian Carahassan. And they gave us a bonus performance for our YouTube viewers. We thought we'd show it to you to take us out for the year here on Channel 31. So until, hopefully, fingers crossed, we see you next year, from all of us here at In Pit Lane, we'll see you. And when you're having a barbecue, you'll be throwing on, hopefully, some porterhouse. This is Pete Mitchell and the Brian Carahassan duo. Good night. And there we are. Look, I've just been because I've been reading stuff. Do we want to? I just want to say to everybody watching online, to the people watching on YouTube and Facebook, thank you very much. That's the end of it for Tuesday. But it's not the end. It's almost the end of the live show. It's not the end of the In Pit Lane YouTube channel. As I said, coming up, we will have the Formula SA, but we will have other things happening over summer as well. We'll have some speedway. Jack, because as you can see, Jack has injured himself, but he's not. But you're behind the wheel now. So when do you get back behind the wheel?
I probably shouldn't say because the doctor said one thing, but I want to do another. So we'll see. Hopefully not too far away.
Officially, what is the official doctor's?
Officially 7 weeks.
No, that's no. You can come back in 4. No,
Come back in
right.
4,
Yeah,
exactly. I'll be back Boxing Day.
Yeah,
I'll be back Boxing Day.
So where will you be on Boxing Day? Where are you racing?
Bairnsdale, which is nowhere, which is the longest drive you will ever make, like longer than the drive to Winton. And then the 27th of December will be in Rosedale. And then if we make that, I have no idea.
Right. Well, and that's the thing. And we said last summer, that there's speedway everywhere, all over country Victoria, all over regional Australia. There are speedways wherever you look. We've got drag racing. Hopefully, we'll have some more drag racing, some more live drag racing coming up later in the year as well. We're still sort of working on that, but that'd be good as well, so we could get some drag racing out as well as Formula SAE. So if you're a speedway club or a drag strip or anything like that, and you would like your event covered, contact us here at In Pit Lane, because we've got the people, we've got the equipment. We'd love to come out and it's going to cost you, of course. We can't do this. There's only so much we can do for love, and quite frankly, the way things are going at the moment, I'm going to end up homeless by the end before Christmas. So we do actually need some dollars somewhere along the line to actually do this. But do we have any comments or anything? We had some people commented on Facebook or something.
We just have people saying they want us back next year.
Well, that's a start.
So it's
thank
good
you
to
to
be
all.
loved.
Yes, it's good to be loved. Thank you to all those people, and thank you. Do we got any names that we can shout out or got there?
No, because I closed it before when the
it.
jazz was on.
And Phil closed
Hang on.
it. They said, please come back.
Hang on.
I can get it back up, but it'll have to be through my account.
Custom Winder 1. Hello.
Yes, hello, Custom Winder 1.
I hope to see you guys back next year. Thumbs up.
He's one of the Brighton Custom Winders, isn't he? Yes. Roger Custom Winder.
I think you do Speedway based on your photo. I can't look at your thing. Oh, can I? Talk amongst yourselves.
Okay, well, we can do that.
It looks like... Oh, no, it's a buggy.
It's a buggy. Okay, well, let's go.
And then we have Crag Dutt.
Yes?
Yeah, he says, always great to see you on the internet. Looking forward to see you online next year.
Well, thank you. We do hope to be back. Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, the whole thing, we've got a very different audience online than we have on Channel 31. When you have a look at the demographics, it's predominantly people under 40. In fact, probably people under 35. Whereas if you have a look at the demographics for Channel 31, it was you're somewhere between 50. It's God's waiting room, and I know because I've got a space reserved there as well. Somebody's just keeping the
put that on Channel 31.
Yeah, we want.
Hello, you're on God's waiting room.
Channel 31. Welcome to Melbourne and John, Channel 31. God's waiting room.
We're not back on Channel 31 next year because of those comments.
No, we will be. We'll hopefully be back on 31. We do support Channel 31, but it is funny. I mean, the difference. People over at Phillip Island on the weekend, just the one guy who just said that if free-to-air television ever disappeared completely, he would just never watch anything again, because I'm not watching anything on. I'm not on my computer. It's just not. We've got some ladies and gentlemen, late breaking news from the seat of Hawthorn, I believe. Jack, what's the swing?
We've had Jenny in the control room saying, "Great show this year."
Thank you, Jenny. Jenny, a totally unbiased view from the control. That's come all the way from come from the control room up to AusSat 5, down to the receiving centre in Canberra, and then been relayed from there once again via AusSat 23 down into the room from Jenny, who is about 5 metres away
Phil's
from
iPad.
me right now. Through Phil's iPad.
And then we had Nick Woodward saying that they can hear our crew talking about the female anatomy.
That was Nick Woodward. Well, Nick Woodward would, wouldn't he? If anybody would, it would be Nick Woodward. Is he a brother of Edward Woodward? I always ask, would Edward Woodward? Yes, Edward Woodward would.
We have Brett Ramsey saying testing.
That is clearly not me, because I think that could apply to our whole program for 22 years.
Yeah.
Testing.
And
Testing.
then
One day we'll get it right.
a couple of other comments saying, great show, everyone, well done.
Who's silly enough to be saying these things?
Jimmy and Hussein.
No, Jimmy and Hussein. Well, I was going to say they're probably drunk, but I know Hussein isn't drunk. G'day, Hussein. Hussein, one of our long-time crew members on the program. Good to know you're watching, mate. Thanks a lot for your support over the years as well. Jimmy, I don't know what your excuse is. You're probably drunk as well. That makes three of us right now. It's been one of those nights. Thank you, everybody, for watching. I think we're ready to just about pull the plug on this thing. Oh, wait, we've got more late-breaking news.
We have Martin. Pleasure dropping in halfway through the show.
Oh, that's all right.
So, welcome, anytime.
So you probably missed the most entertaining part, Martin, when we were talking about the female anatomy. We didn't know we were talking about the female anatomy.
Was that you?
Yeah, no.
Oh, no, that come from the studio.
Yeah, okay. So
That's okay, don't worry. Yeah, that's all right. Don't worry about that. Cancel that one.
Yeah,
we can end now.
Cancel that one.
Let's go on holiday.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have now totally wasted a considerable amount of bandwidth.
10 minutes.
Thank you to RMIT University for the incredible amount of bandwidth that we've managed to waste here. Just saying goodbye, actually, but it is the last show of the year, and it's got a bit of a sort of school party. End of year muck up as well. Our regular director Sean is in there, sort of wrapped in toilet paper, which is why Rachel is doing. Rachel was the one who wrapped him in toilet paper, so don't.
Can I just say, seriously, from the crew and everyone else, we'd all like to thank you as well for keeping
Why?
the show going. Why? I wasn't expecting that. For keeping the show going for 22 years and giving us something to do on a Tuesday night, because God knows what we would be doing.
You want something to do on a Tuesday night, you can come round and you can do my dishes and clean up there. I can give you plenty of things to do on a Tuesday night that don't involve millions of dollars worth of equipment here at RMI TV.
I like having millions of dollars worth of equipment.
It's fun, isn't it?
It's fun.
It is so much fun.
And we're not in charge.
Incidentally, if you're interested in getting into television, or you can join RMI TV. You don't have to be a student. I've said it before. You can be any age. I mean, look at me. I'm 143.
That's real.
That's a shoot. So we're in wrestling mode. There's wrestling coming up just down the road. Just down in our regular studio, there is live wrestling. I don't know where.
Apparently, they have a ring.
They have a ring. They have how they fit it in that studio. We had a look. There's not a lot of room left in that studio. I would hate
100
to see
audience members.
100. Well, that's what they're hoping for. 100 audience members.
Seats.
With 47 seats. Yeah, sounds like a wrestling crowd. Most of them two-headed. I shouldn't have said that. I'm in big trouble now.
What are they going to hit each other with if there's no seats?
That's it. Oh, that's right. Yeah, they're not folding seats. I don't know whether RMIT University are aware of the fact that seats will be used as weapons.
So they've given their nice seats like these nice comfy
Yeah,
seats.
I mean, yeah, you don't
and
want
then they're going to go and get smashed.
You don't want to cop a whack to the back of the head with one of these things.
I'd
These are
rather not
gimmick
cop a whack
seats.
to their head at all.
Yes. Oh, we're not allowed to talk about the wrestling because every time we talk about it,
They tell us off.
Yeah, they tell us off.
Oh, we've been wrapped
We're
up.
being wrapped up. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been an RMI TV production. We will see you next
night.
year. Good night. Good night. Go away. Go away. Leave us.
Do we just walk out?
We'll just walk it. Yeah,
'Cause
we'll just go.
we did a
we'll
live
just go.
stream.
Yeah, we're live streaming. So we'll see you later. Close your
See yous.
eyes and I'll kiss you. Tomorrow I'll miss you.